Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet. Voice you know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Allevo seed treatment to protect your soybeans. I'm Joel Penordwood, taking a look at farm news across the state. Right now, the Ohio Farm Bureau Federation having its annual meeting. Ty Higgins reports.
Visiting with Evan Calicote. He is Director of State Policy with Ohio Farm Bureau at the 107th Ohio Farm Bureau annual meeting. As we talk about a lot of policy here over the next couple of days, on the state side of things, how would you summarize 2025?
I think it's been an absolutely awesome year for the Ohio Farm Bureau in 2025. Starting off with getting our health plans bill passed and then having enrollment this fall. H2 Ohio Department of Agriculture, things like that. We've had a lot of success in 2025 and we hope to keep that going in 2026.
I don't want to downplay the success, but what were some things that maybe almost got there that we're going to continue working on as 2026 gets here?
Yeah, we're still definitely going to keep working on the property tax front. We know that matters a lot to our members, and before the legislature went on break, we were able to introduce House Bill 575, which will have some updates to the CAUV program. No formula updates or anything like that, but just really trying to make it more uniform across the state and make sure everyone is getting the values that they need.
Evan Calicote with Ohio Farm Bureau. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
More from the annual meeting online at ohioagnet.com. Big congratulations to one of Ohio's own, Scott Metzger. He was tapped yesterday to lead the American Soybean Association in 2026. Metzger, a Ross County soybean farmer. They farm just outside of Williamsport. Long been active in both state and national soybean organizations. He served on the Ohio Soybean Association board since 2016 and has held quite a few roles since then. Again, Ross County farmer Scott Metzger leading the American Soybean Association. Congratulations. In other news, a group of 23 senators, bipartisan group that is, called on the U.S. Department of Agriculture to expedite development of a comprehensive bird flu vaccination strategy. That comes amid rising infections in flocks, as seems to be tradition for this time of year. Lawmakers warning that outbreaks of that highly pathogenic avian influenza have killed millions of birds nationwide, threatening poultry producers already coping with supply chain pressures and volatile markets. Of course, Ohio producers some of the hardest hit this past year. Now, that group of senators did also highlight concerns about how certain vaccination policies, if done incorrectly, would impact international trade. USDA says they have pledged research funding, but have not yet released detailed operational plans that way. An interesting weather outlook for this weekend. Let's check in with Ryan Martin, thanks to Seed Consultants.
Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag Weather update. Nothing coming in terms of our next round of moisture until likely tomorrow afternoon. So mixed clouds and sun here for this afternoon and tomorrow morning. Once that system does come through, I think we see a quick couple of inches of snow over about 75 to 80% of the state. Just a dusting up north, but the higher accumulations from US 30 southward. So that's going to be an interesting run into Sunday morning to midday. And then brutal cold Arctic air is here to finish the weekend and go through Monday. Big thaw the rest of next week. Tuesday forward, we get muddy real quick. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Stay tuned to the latest ag weather forecast online at ohioagnet.com. Thanks to Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. And in other news, USDA announced new funding focused on regenerative agriculture this week. Brian Glenn is Director of Government Affairs for the American Farm Bureau, says the new initiative will apply to two programs that many farmers already participate in,
including the Environmental Quality Incentives Program, EQIP, and the Conservation Stewardship Program, or CSP. And it dedicates $400 million to EQIP and $300 million to CSP to fund regenerative agriculture projects that improve soil health, embrace water quality, and boost long-term productivity for farmers.
And stay tuned. We're going to take a look at market numbers coming up after this on the Ohio AgNet.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section and after Dad's back injury. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Trouble with opioids can start at home with unused medicines such as pills, patches, and syrups. You can remove the risk and protect your family. Find out how at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
You're listening to the Ohio AgNet. Let's take a look at what's driving markets today, shall we? Doug Tenney of Lice Mercantile checks in.
This is Doug Tenney with Lice Mercantile, providing you with your end-of-the-week technical indicators. These technical indicators are price levels where futures find support and futures find resistance. March 2026 corn has support at 444 and resistance at 449. January 26 soybeans have support at 1082 and resistance at 1098. Please visit our website at lifemercantile.com to learn more about our crop insurance, grain marketing program, and brokerage services.
Thank you, Doug. Market numbers in Chicago mixed to lower, especially for the grain side. December corn up 1 3/4 to 437, but that's the lone bright spot for grains. March corn down 2 1/4 to 444 1/4. Soybeans falling hard as January down 14.5 cents to 10.79. March beans off 13.5 to 10.89 1/4, and July wheat off 2 1/4 to 5.46 per bushel. Markets brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. At the Merc, we're seeing December live cattle 20 cents lower to 230.18. March feeder to cattle $1.85 down to 335.83 for those contracts. And December lean hogs 83.60. They're up 20 cents. February hogs actually gaining 63 cents. And milk higher by 12 cents across the board. So ending on a positive note, I'm Joel Norwood for the Ohio AgNet. Thanks for tuning in.